Hello, my name is Max Bruno and welcome to Page by Crippled Page, the series in which I read Donald Trump's Crippled America, How to Make America Great Again, verbatim, and without judgment, so that you can make your own decisions. I will now continue with my reading of Chapter 4, Foreign Policy, Fighting for Peace. Building up our military is cheap when you consider the alternative. Right now we are in bad shape militarily. We're decreasing the size of our forces, and we're not giving them the best equipment. Recruiting the best people has fallen off, and there are a lot of questions about the state of our nuclear weapons. Do we even still have enough that the president could choose to annihilate all life on Earth? Most people can't even answer that question definitively. There is another way to pay to class up our military forces. If other countries are depending on us to protect them, shouldn't they be willing to make sure we have the capability to do it? It'd be a shame if something were to happen to, for example, one of Canada's many cherished hockey stadiums. For a country of slow-moving syrup suckers and wobbly-wristed Frenchmen, they certainly weren't confident about welcoming in thousands of undocumented Muslims from Syria. I wonder how they would feel if, let's just say, every Tim Hortons was reduced to rubble. That'd be a shame. They and other countries should pay us for our protection services, just to make sure that nothing unfortunate like that happens. To illustrate my point, I'd like to share a personal story. It was a hot night in Las Vegas, and I was celebrating the 13-year anniversary of the cancellation of the Rosie O'Donnell show at the Trump International Hotel with my son Eric, George Zimmerman, and my Mexican friend, Tito. The Trump International Hotel Las Vegas features upscale rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows, marble bathrooms, whirlpool tubs, and flat-screen TVs on every wall. Its high-end accommodations cater to the premium taste of the Trump customer, and my secret private suite is the pinnacle of luxury. That's right, I have a secret private suite in every Trump hotel. I'm being open and honest about it, unlike Hillary Clinton and her despicable emails. It was after 7 p.m., so I had changed into my gold monogrammed satin pajamas, and George was stumbling drunk, waving a .45 caliber handgun at the in-room masseuse for looking him in the eyes, one of his pet peeves. George was my first choice for a Mexican friend to have with me on the campaign trail, but my campaign manager informed me that despite being acquitted in that liberal witch hunt of a trial, George is just too controversial to be my official Mexican friend. He also mentioned that George is Peruvian, but I still don't know what that had to do with anything. My official Mexican friend, Tito, had been sitting in the corner of the suite all evening, sipping the Tecate beer I had bought for him. But when George started in on the masseuse with the .45, Tito got out of his chair and asked if there was a problem. This was when I nudged Eric, who had been calmly eating spoonfuls of caviar while humming "For the Love of Money" under his breath, like he always does, because I saw the opportunity to teach him a lesson. When he saw George turn his attention from the masseuse and point his weapon at Tito, Eric's eyes went wide. "Are you going to do something, Daddy?" he asked. I had to laugh. I calmly sipped my plain seltzer and asked him, "Now why would I put myself in the middle of that? Do I want George pointing that thing at me instead?" At this point, Tito had walked across the room to George, who was pressing his handgun against the cowering masseuse's head. I won't quote George's exact words here because I don't want the PC media to throw themselves into hysteria, but he made it clear that he wasn't worried about legal action being taken against him should he shoot both the in-room masseuse and Tito in self-defense. He said that he had my protection to count on, and that was when I decided to speak up. "Watch closely, Eric," I said, before calling to George from my place on the gorgeously upholstered couch that comes standard in every first-class suite of the Trump International Hotel. "Now, George, just what makes you so sure I'll protect you over Tito? Tito's Mexican friendship makes me more appealing to a valuable part of the electorate. Do you have something to offer me that he can't?" George, stunned by my incredible business negotiation skills, turned and said, "Don, I thought we were friends." It was at this moment that my Mexican friend Tito, who I've mentioned is a decorated veteran of the war in Afghanistan, seized the opportunity to disarm George, breaking 2 of his fingers in the process. In a few minutes, George had stopped screaming and passed out from either drunkenness or shock. The in-room masseuse had returned to his masseuse closet to cry in private, and my Mexican friend Tito, well, he was back in the corner sipping his Tecate in silence. "You really won that one, Daddy," Eric said. "I always do," I reminded him, pouring him another bowl of beluga caviar. "And if that doesn't prove to you that I can win at foreign policy, nothing will." That concludes my reading of Chapter 4, Foreign Policy Fighting for Peace, of Donald Trump's Crippled America, How to Make America Great Again. Please continue to watch this series, stay politically informed, and if you'd like to engage with me in this conversation, tweet at me, at MaxHBruno. And as you go about this media landscape and into the voting booth, remember, the truth is our greatest weapon.